Be Wealthy and Smart, episode 1332.
Step into a world of wealth and financial freedom without budgets, boredom, or bosses on Be Wealthy and Smart. And now, here's your host, Linda P. Jones.
Welcome to Be Wealthy and Smart. I'm Linda P. Jones, America's Wealth Mentor, empowering women and men worldwide to financial freedom. On today's show, we're going to be talking about how the U.S. is the top country for millionaires and billionaires. Now, that may sound kind of elitist, but not really. Once you see how the wealth has been created, you'll see that it involves everyday investors with 401k plans, for example. And if that makes you think of stocks, that's exactly right. Stocks are a big part of Americans' wealth. And if you have a 401k from your employer or you're self-employed and can provide yourself a 401k, that may be the simplest path to riches. And that's because stocks accounted for about 37.8% of the overall share of household assets for the top 1% at the end of 2023, up from a low of 36.5%. This data is according to a new report from the Federal Reserve, and it said that middle-class Americans have seen a rising wealth tide, with the middle 50% to 90% of Americans seeing their wealth increase by 50%. That's since 2020. There was an unprecedented wealth boom that began in 2020 with the pandemic, and since that time, the wealth of the top 1% has increased by nearly $15 trillion, or 49%. But economists say a rising stock market is giving an added boost to consumer spending through what is known as the wealth effect, and that's what I talked about on the last podcast. That's when you see your stock holdings rise and you feel more confident spending and taking more risk. And the same thing goes for when you see home values rise as well. Mark Zandi, chief economist at Moody's Analytics, said the wealth effect from surging stock prices is a powerful tailwind to consumer confidence, spending, and broader economic growth. Of course, this highlights a vulnerability of the economy if the stock market were to falter. This isn't the most likely scenario, but it is a scenario given that stocks appear richly valued. While the Fed argues that the wealth of the middle class and lower income Americans depends more on wages and home values than stocks, I would say middle class Americans, because of 401k plans, are more savvy than ever with holding stocks. And if you have a 401k, hopefully you're getting a match from your employer as well, which is free money in the first place that you want to participate if your employer matches it. Now, another report that came out that kind of coincides with that wealth report is the 2024 USA Wealth Report from Henley & Partners and New World Wealth. What they're saying is the U.S. has rapidly overwhelmed China as the world's top spot for millionaires and billionaires. There's now more than 5.5 million Americans with liquid investable assets of more than $1 million, which is up 62% over the past decade and well above the global growth rate of 38%. And over the past 5 years, the population of millionaires in the U.S. has grown 35%, nearly twice as fast as China's. The U.S. is now home to 37% of the world's millionaires, up from 35% in 2018. And the U.S. has more than 9,850 centimillionaires. Those are people worth $100 million or more, compared with China's 2,352. And the U.S. has more than double China's billionaires at 305 in China and 788 in the U.S. According to the report, the U.S. remains the world's undisputed leader in private wealth creation and accumulation. Interestingly, there's many millionaires from China that have moved to the U.S. A net 13,500 Chinese millionaires left China in 2023, marking a new record. The U.S. had a net inflow of 2,200 millionaires in 2023 and a projected inflow of 3,500 millionaires in 2024, according to the report. It said the U.S. remains a top draw for wealthy tech entrepreneurs and engineers, especially from Asia, Europe, and the U.K. While analysts and economists say China will still be a major source of luxury and wealth growth in the coming years, the U.S. has become both the dominant market and source of growth for the high net worth economy. Dominic Volek, the group head of private clients at Henley, said the wealth creation opportunities in the U.S. are second to none globally. If you haven't yet subscribed to Be Wealthy and Smart, hit the subscribe button and you'll be notified as soon as new podcasts are available. And all of my podcasts are on my website at lindapjones.com/podcasts. And while you're there, sign up for my weekly newsletter for more tips for your financial freedom. That's all for today. Until next time, live the good life and be wealthy and smart.
Thank you for listening to Be Wealthy and Smart with Linda P. Jones. Share the wealth and tell your family and friends about the show. Check out our website, blog, and social media for more riches at www.bewealthyandsmart.com.